revision के साथ में भी solution रुको जरा ले लो ये direction सिया के साथ बड़े progression छोड़ो वो pages जो confuse करे हर सवाल का जवाब यहाँ पर है अब सपनों के रास्ते और सामने उम्मीद के नए आसमान हुए चमके जो सितारे तुम्हारी किताबों में नई सुबह शुरू तुम्हारे सपनों में सिया के साथ सफर है सुहाना दुनिया की हर राह लगे नजराना क्या है ये लास्ट मिनट का टेंशन रिविजन के साथ में भी सॉल्यूशन रुको जरा ले लो ये डायरेक्शन सिया के साथ बड़े प्रोग्रेशन
তুমি যা যে দাঁড়িয়ে রইলে না
क्या है ये लास्ट मिनट का टेंशन रिविजन के साथ में भी सॉल्यूशन रुको जरा ले लो ये डायरेक्शन सिया के साथ बड़े प्रोग्रेशन छोड़ो वो पेजेस जो कंफ्यूज करे हर सवाल का जवाब यहाँ पर है अब सपनों के रास्ते और सामने उम्मीद के नए आसमान हुए चमके जो सितारे तुम्हारी किताबों में नई सुबह शुरू अब तुम्हारे सपनों में सिया के साथ सफर है सुहाना दुनिया की हर राह लगे नजराना क्या है ये लास्ट मिनट का टेंशन रिविजन के साथ में भी सॉल्यूशन रुको जरा ले लो ये डायरेक्शन सिया के साथ बड़े प्रोग्रेशन क्या है ये लास्ट मिनट का टेंशन रिविजन के साथ में भी सॉल्यूशन रुको जरा ले लो ये डायरेक्शन सिया के साथ बड़े प्रोग्रेशन छोड़ो वो पेजेस जो कंफ्यूज करे हर सवाल का जवाब यहाँ पर है अब सपनों के रास्ते और सामने उम्मीद के नए आसमान हुए चमके जो सितारे तुम्हारी किताबों में नई सुबह शुरू अब तुम्हारे सपनों में सिया के साथ सफर है सुहाना दुनिया की हर राह लगे नजराना क्या है ये लास्ट मिनट का टेंशन रिविजन के साथ में भी सॉल्यूशन रुको जरा ले लो ये डायरेक्शन सिया के साथ बड़े प्रोग्रेशन
This one. Let it be upside down. अंदर ये तो कुछ नहीं सोना
सिंह नहीं वो सिंह कॉर्नर पे कॉर्नर नहीं काम इधर इधर साइड करो
अच्छा
वो ले लो बस क्रॉस मार्क कर डन
start. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sia Live Digital Master Classes. So we are here to start with our last preparation, final revision. So that let's get started. Before that, just go and like and share Sia LMR app. Purchase the app, and you can find all the resources over there. Yes. Shall we start? Give a thumb in the chat box. Yes, good job. I couldn't see any chat, anything over there.
yes
Yes, shall we start? Thank you very much. So let's get. So all the best for your exam first of all. This is your things which we need to cover today. Your math structure completely for English 100 marks. Out of your main exam covers 80 marks, and the remaining 20 marks will be your internal test, which is already done with your respective colleges. You have done very good job here. So you are done with a lot of efforts. I know that what you have done. Okay. So let's move on to the passing marks. For the 80 marks, you have to get at least 32 marks to get the pass, and move on to what we need to do actually to get the good things and what we are going to cover today. And your exam is going to be divided into two parts. One is part A. Part A will be covering 20 marks out of 80 marks. Okay. And in that you will get 6 questions. Out of 6 questions you have to answer any 5. And each and every question has many questions. You have to answer each and everything. Then only you will get. Each one question carries 1 per mark. Then it goes with the 20 marks. Alright? Now, here go with the big blast of your main term of topic is your part B. Seniors, no? That's the reason it's also scared. See, that's what seniors affect. Yeah. So part B covers 60 marks of you, the major part of your exam, which the question starts from 6 to 10. Here you will go with the 4 questions, and each and every question has a optional choice. Optional choice means either A or B. You have to choose any one from the question. And this will be followed, each and every question followed with the prose question or the poetry question. So out of 2, you have to choose any one, whether you go with the prose or the poetry. That is the first thing you have to choose. And you might have an idea that we have only 3 units now, then what about the last question? The last question will be covering from the reading, critical reading. Then you have your next, after the prose and poetry, you have one more lesson, critical reading is there. From that you will be following the last question. Okay. In second part B, you will have to answer any 4 long questions, which each carries 15 marks. 15 fours are 60 marks. Right? Clear, everyone? Thumb, please. Yes, good. Now move on. So what we are going to cover today, we have everything planned for you according to your last minute preparation, dear. So be conscious about each and every word. Here we are going to cover 3 units of that. According to that, unit 1, we are covering the Lotus poem. And the next unit 2, we are covering prose part, the Postmaster. And Unit 3 we are covering Bury Me in a Free Land. This is a poem. Clear? Then move on to, as I mentioned in the last and the fourth question, we will be covering additional critical reading, right? With that, you are going to with anti-women or is knowledge its own end. So these two are your fourth questions, right? Yeah, good. Now, followed by the grammar, we have different types of grammar, but we'll be covering the most important topics, which is essay writing, the resume writing, and the project or report writing. These are the major writing skills topics you have, right? And which is going to cover your 12 marks of your part A. As we have 12 marks, as we have 20 marks for part A, and we are going to cover 12 marks in that, right? And part A, once you check this one, part B, we are checking with 45 marks with the prose and poetry combination, and also we are covering 15 marks question of critical reading. So that how many marks you are covering over there? Hope you are following the things. 60 marks of things we are giving. So no need to worry about your good scoring. Now, here comes, we have a grammar part in part A, and we are also covering the grammar part, one word substitutes and words often confused, and formal informal vocabulary, which covers your 12 marks of the topics in part A. Clear? So this is the point, this is the overall idea we are going to do today evening. So all the best. Sit. Yes. So the poem, yeah, here is a lot of conflicts about should we pronounce it as a poem or a poem. Actually, we should pronounce it as poem. There are no things like that. It's poem. It's poem only. Now move on. Here we go with the important questions. What is the central idea of the poem, the Lotus? And the first question, examine the symbolic representations of the flowers, the lotus. When you are talking about the flower, what are the symbolizes? What is the additional ideas representing about the lotus poem? So if you see, everything is arranged in a quiet manner according to the poem. Once you see what is the significance of the title, if you see all the questions, these all leads to one idea, that is, you have to talk about the lotus. Clear? Whenever you are writing, you have to use 4 things. One is that about the poet. For the poem, you have to use about the poet, then explanation and general relevance and the conclusion. Whenever you are writing any summary, you have to use this 4 quadrant, and you have to segregate your summary into 4 parts, so that it will be easy for you to recollect and it is easy for the examiner to go through the thing. They can assist you well, that you have a good idea about the summary, right? Yeah. And this is a last minute preparation, dear. So we'll be giving you the main features which you are going to cover in the summary. Make sure that, because we don't have a next semester time, we have only last 12 hours of time, right? So Toru, that's the Lotus. Toru, that's, she's a woman. She was born in Calcutta, so she's an Indian poet. You have to mention she is an Indian poet. Whenever you are writing about the author, you have to mention Toru Dutt. She is an Indian poet. She was born in Calcutta, highly privileged literary family, because she is from an well-educated family, and she lived in France, and afterwards she maybe immigrated to France, and she studied in the Cambridge. So highly effective literary skills she might have, and she was a translator, poet and a translator and a novelist. These are the things you have to about the author. You have to mention the name and which place she belongs to and what kind of works she has done. She is a novelist, and her works reveals the influence of the French education, because as she lived in France, no, so she has some idea about the French education. At the same time, lectures of Cambridge, the idea it was she has possessed. At the same time, she also studied Sanskrit. So obviously she has rooted with the Indian culture, Indian custom also, right? Then here it is itself about the poem. Now continuing with the explanation. What is explanation? Everyone they have small doubt. What is explanation in the sense? What is the context? What is the idea the poet wants to convey in the poem? Right? So what is the idea the Toru wants to imply? The lotus, Toru's poem, the lotus uses flowers to symbolize, to represent different human qualities and values. Like we humans have different perceptions, qualities, and things are there. In the same way, nature, the flowers also have different things, right? If you some flowers are white, some flowers are blue, some have different fragrance. Jasmine has different. Likewise, we people has different things, and even the flowers also. Here it is. Different human qualities and values. The rose and the lily as rivals. And when you see the beautiful rose, if you see the rose will be the most vibrant flower in the nature. Wherever, whatever you say. Because if you want to order a bouquet for your favorite person, which bouquet you order? Obviously rose one. Right? So the rose has a most vibrant color and the lily has white and pleasant, right? So both are have competition. When you see the rose, it has its own quality, and when you see the lily also, it has its own quality. So there is no things like that's a contradict for us. If you want to choose something, you will be a bit conflict which one to be, right? So the poet was mentioning this idea through the poem. Here it was giving the idea of personification. I would mention this is a figurative language which was used by the poets and authors most of the times when they want to give a creative approach for their literary works. So here they have the poet who has used the personification that love came to Flora. Love is a goddess. Okay, it is invisible. Everyone knows. But love came to Flora. It was mentioned. Means it is a personification. It was so why it is came. What he wants actually. The Flora means the god of nature. Okay, and beauty. The rose admired the vibrancy and the energy, passion, while the lily symbolizes the serenity and peacefulness. Okay, and the regal grace of. And the flower symbolize the ongoing human pursuit and perfection, highlighting the difficulty of achieving harmony, peace, and balance among the different qualities. If you see, we human, if you have going through any poem, you have to think in only not only just for the poem, you have to think in how it is implied to ourselves. Yes, we have our own abilities, some qualities, or something like that. Every time we contradict something, we feel some different opinions, perceptions, or something. In the same way, flowers do have. It implies to the flowers. It implies to the people also, humans also. And now move on to the these all we have go with the explanation. Explanation part is completely what is the poet wants to convey over through this poem. Okay, so the central idea of the poem is to need to the balance the unity, because whether the flower is rose or the lily, whatever it is, but there's a unity. We are humans, like whatever we are humans. We are all one. In the same way, the nature is one. The flowers are one, and Flora, the god of Roman goddess of flowers, resolves the conflict. So the Flora came to the nature and sorry, the love came to Flora and asked for the flower. Okay, which flower? The flower which is the queen of the flower. Okay, which cannot be denied by anyone as it is accepted by everyone. Which flower you will be suggesting? Then the Flora was confused a bit, because all the flowers are beautiful, right? Everyone is human, everything is beautiful in the nature. Then it was get confused and it was a bit. And as we are discussing about that, we have a different flowers, and on top we have rose and lily. These two are the top flowers, but out of two, the elegant flowers, the two, which one to choose? So Flora was confused. So it was asked that it has to suggest only one flower which has a quality of rose and which has that has also combined with a lily. So how come it is possible to give two things in one, two qualities in one flower. So the flora was thoughtful and it was thinking about which flower to give. Then the mind, that as an idea comes into the mind of that the lotus has the significance of two qualities. If you see, lotus has the vibrant color of rose and the peacefulness and the calmness of lily also. So the flora suggested one thing, that the lotus is the beauty, the significant of the beauty. It has two qualities. One is that rose one, and the second one is lily one. Those two combination is comes under the migration of. Here, there is one more idea I would present over here. It is not about just the combination of two flowers. As she is immigrated to another country, Western countries, no. So she has come across all the Western culture, and she is also rooted with the Indian culture, as she was born as an Indian, right? So she was talking about not just about the flowers. She was talking about the Indian culture and Western culture, the combination of two cultures, the migration of two cultures. Because in our human life, wherever we are, we have to adapt ourselves and we have to grow and move forward, right? So when you adapt yourself, you will become the best of the best. Like the rose and the lily combination become the lotus, right? The most significant and spiritual flower. Everyone knows that spirituality is related to the lotus, and it has many life lessons also. If you see the lotus, it has gives a lot of inspiration to a lot of people. They talk about the lotus. So flora decision was wise because it reflects the importance of unity and balance. Unity means all are equal. Balance means two colors, two elegant flowers are covering in the lotus. So instead of favoring one flower, she creates a new one chart, includes the strengths of both. The solution is celebrating the accepting everything. It is about accepting the everything, every ideas. The poem ultimately emphasizes that harmony, peace, and welcoming the everyone are the key to success. It is how we are dealt with the surroundings. We have to balance everything as a human being or the flower. Or you, we have to unite. We have to adapt in this environment or culture wherever we are. Right. So now is a general relevance. What we have to discuss in general, whatever the context we discussed in the explanation, we have to suggest some examples how it is get connected to the main topic. Correct? The message of the lotus highlights the importance of the unity and the balance. When you see the lotus, it is importance of the unity and balancing self, because it is balancing the two flowers, and it encourages embarrassing accepting diversity. Diversity in the sense two different perception, two different ideas, and combining strengths into achieve the success. When you want to go grow for the better things, you have to accept. You have to adapt yourself. Then only you will get successful. If not, it's not only for the flowers, exclusively for the human beings also. When you are not accepting something, when you are not adapting yourself in this technical era, you will be lack. And by personal and societal concept, we can foster peace and harmony, progress in personal and social. As I mentioned, whenever you are writing, first you have to introduce the about the poet or author, then go with the explanation. Explanation, this is what is the idea the poet or the author is carrying through their work, and how it is connected. Do you have any ideas about the present context which was presented by the poet? What are the ideas, what are the examples has suggested by the things? Then conclusion is, it is your observation, what you are observing regularly from the overall. The poem teaches, this is our observation, the poem teaches us that combining two different strengths brings more success and peace. Instead of competing means contradicting with something and opposing something, we should work together and unite different qualities, because true greatness comes to teamwork and the balance, right? When you combine with something, obviously it goes more elegant, right? So this is the conclusion. Yes, hope you're following the things. If you have anything to ask, just post in the chat. We will be ready to answer. Yes, dear. The question answers will be answered in the end. But if you have any doubts regarding this thing, just post it. Okay? Yes. So I mentioned that every summary you have to write about the author or the poet with the explanation and followed by the general elements and the conclusion. These four parts should be there in a summary. Right? And how many words, how many pages? In the question itself, it was mentioning that you have to answer the question in 300 words. So, follow that. Move on to the next part. As I mentioned, we'll be covering the first unit, poem, and the second unit is prose. In the unit 2, we have the chimney sweeper is a poem, and the prose part is the postmaster. So out of 2, we'll be going with the option the postmaster, which was written by Rabindranath Tagore. Okay, such a beautiful lesson, the postmaster. Everyone knows that Rabindranath Tagore was a wonderful novelist, poet, everything. He's an artist. Let us see other things. Before that, we will go with the question also. Write an essay on the nature of the human relations of the postmaster. So with this question, we can understand that in this lesson, the postmaster lesson conveys some sort of human connection, humanity, something like that, right? And the next, sketch the character of Ratan and the postmaster. So what are the characters over there here? Here we have 2 characters. One is postmaster and the again is one girl. The named her Ratan. Okay, she was an orphan and she was also there in the store. And again, there is one thing. What are the important questions? Most of the times I have come across this question. Important questions, please. Important questions is nothing but when the question, if you follow the question has some self-explanatory ideas, right? You have to give, then that is an important question. Okay. You have read something. What are your ideas? You can write it over. Those kind of questions are the most important question. Most of the times you will follow those questions only. Right. Okay. So shall we go with the things? Here we go with the author's introduction. As it is a prose part now, that's the reason we have to mention introduction of the author. Rabindranath Tagore, he was born in 1861, 1941. He was last breath and was a great, talented writer, translator, poet, and artist. He was known for his versatility and creativity. Tagore wrote mainly his mother tongue, means he is from Bangladesh, so he's right in Bengali, sorry, and also in English. And he was a Nobel Prize winner in 1913 for his famous collection of Gitanjali. Gitanjali was the offering to God. Everyone think that offering to God in the sense we are offering flowers. No, he's offering the humanity. He was offering the love, care, empathy. The human qualities should be. So those are the series of poems which is covered in Gitanjali. For that, he has given Nobel Prize, and he is the first non-European who got the Nobel Prize in the literature. It's a great thing for us. Now, besides Gitanjali, and one more thing, he is also a founder of Shantiniketan School. So he has a great ideology for the schooling and education. So he started a school named Shantiniketan. The school or the education should be beyond the 4 walls. That's his idea. I love this idea actually. Yeah. So he wrote, besides poetry, he wrote short stories, novels, essays, musical dramas, and autobiographies. He also established school Shantiniketan, which later became the renowned university, right? And we all know that the national anthem, which we sing, which we follow, that was written by Mr. Rabindranath Tagore. He composed 2. Yeah. So move on to the explanation part. As I mentioned, explanation part in the sense, what is author's point of view according to the lesson. This is what explanation. So Rabindranath Tagore explores the complexities, difficult aspects, complexity in the sense as different challenges, I think, of human relationship. Of course, humans are a bit challenging thing to deal, and especially the relationships. And the postmaster is one of the best example for the human empathy, care, and all. The story beautifully captured the themes of loneliness and attachment and contrasting the two different people. Here, the Ratan is one of a bit emotional girl, and the other, the postmaster was not that mature. He's a bit careless about his human connection. So these two characters was portrayed in the postmaster, right? So detachment means living there. Detachment, and through the two central characters, Ratan and the postmaster, their interactions reflect different aspects. Of course, we might have come across different people, different mannerisms, abilities, behaviors, and how the two characters will come together, and how they lead their life, and what happened in their story, and how they got detached from their life. This is the main context was given by this lesson. See, Ratan and the postmaster, their interactions reflect the different aspects of human nature, showing how connections are formed and broken in the course of life. Like in our life also, we meet different kind of people, and we have different ideology. Someone has different ideology, and we have different. The finally will part away from them because we may not agree with them. Some sort of situations will come, right? So here also they detached because they're not in the same path, right? Yes, good. Now move on to, here we go with the character, the postmaster. As I mentioned in this lesson, we have two characters. One is postmaster, and the next one is the girl Ratan. The postmaster was a city man. He stayed in Calcutta. Now it is Kolkata. The person was raised in a city lifestyle and city man. So he is good at all the cultures. Means a well-established personality, something like that. Okay, so but unfortunately, he was transferred to a remote. As a postmaster, they have a regular transfers, no? So he was transferred to a remote village, means a rural area. So he was isolated. As we all know that without internet, without Zomato, Swiggy, how life is, right? Very sad, bad. So same thing happened with postmasters, so like us. And isolate means alone out of a place. He is represent the transit of short-lived and nature of human relationship thought throughout the time in the village. He remains detached, so he was not get connected with anyone because as he was completely separate from the mainstream, and he was given a poor hut for the residing. He was not at all happy with the transfer and the village and the environment. So he was a bit alone and low, and from his surroundings, warmth and small conversation. Then that time comes, he got introduced with one of the girl, the village girl, the orphan girl, Ratan. So Ratan was very simple and very calm and composed village girl. So she was helping him with the home chores, and he was helping with cooking and all those things. So there was a small conversation. There is a companionship started between the postmaster and the Ratan. So the companionship, the Ratan has taken completely emotional. So she got connected to the postmaster, and they were in. She was in love with the postmaster, but the postmaster was very matured, and he was just making her to use for the works, whatever the home remaining works are there. No, for that purpose only he was making her to do, and he was paying some amount like that. So this is what the regular things happen in their life. But in few days, everything has changed, right? So the postmaster got again a transfer to another place. So obviously the person doesn't want to live over there, as he doesn't like the environment, a poor rural area. So he was happily ready to move. But the poor Ratan, what happened to her? Because as she was emotionally attached to the postmaster, she was completely, it's a horrible for us to cope up with the things because she was connected to the person. Yes. So which is what, and the postmaster was completely. It's not. He is not that much of emotionally attached to the girl. That's the reason he was. It was a very simple thing for him to leave the girl, and he can happily move to the place. But the Ratan was poor, and she was completely into him. So she got struck over there in emotionally, and it was unable to bear the pain of detaching from the postmaster. So here we go with the poet wants to convey this idea that how the trap of emotions makes us to stuck in our daily life. Seriously, we are everyone, not only the Ratan, not only me, not only you, everyone, we are emotionally stuck in our like my family, my people, my area, my religion, my people. Everything is like that. So we stuck in the emotional connection. What will go to the what extent we want because we are favor to someone or else we want someone's things, right? So here it is the explanation of yes. And the character contrasting. If you see, the postmaster is completely unaffected person, but the Ratan was quite emotional, and she was immature. Of course, she doesn't know the how the people were. She's from a rural background, she doesn't know whether it is a real kind of attachment or it is a attraction, whatever it is. So that is the things happening in our till now it is going on because we do not have an idea that what is a real attachment or the distraction, whatever it is. Okay, so the contrast between two characters striking. The notice that the postmaster represent the practical person. There is no feelings at all for him. Okay, nature of religion. While Ratan was, she remains behind. Okay, symbolizes her emotional depth and loyalty. Her character evokes the brings of the sympathy, pityness. Okay, if you see the character, we have to pity on her because she doesn't know what is going on here in her life also. And he said how relationship often carry unequal emotional weight where one person comfort may become the other cause others heartbreak. Of course, the postmaster, without any hesitation, he just leave the place and leave it. But what about the other? She was heartbreaking situation actually. So the story ends with the postmaster leaving the Ratan, and it was the last impact that he was not at all considering the Ratan's request and all. He just leave the place. This is the story whole end, and it was a thought of that how the people they behave, how the people do care of others. There is no empathy. Empathy means um, uh, seeing their pain. That is considered empathy. We don't have sympathy also these days, but no empathy, no sympathy, not at all. Thus, leaving the place, leaving the girl. The story ending with the postmaster leaving the Ratan waiting leaves a lasting impact. It highlights the inevitability separation of life and the pain of unfulfilled emotional bonds and connections. The postmaster's philosophical thoughts about death, great parting, reflect the temporary nature of life. Whatever the emotions are, it's a temporary. He was in thought of that, and yet his actions remain selfish because the postmaster is a bit selfish. The movement environment is not supporting. He just make her to work for him, but he doesn't care. Really, doesn't care about the girl. Showing how people can be aware of life's truths but fail to act with empathy. There is no empathy for the other person. Seriously, this is what the reality of life and understanding the other's feelings. There is no understanding of others' feelings. Never ever. Okay, dear? Any questions, dear? Anything you would like to continue? Anything you want to know or ask? Just take a break.
Very good.
Grammar part.
Grammar. Last.
क्या ग्रामर पार्ट है? कुछ भी नहीं है ग्रामर पार्ट। फिर नहीं है, देखो ऐसे। नहीं वो
So ahora me comuniqué con
keywords. और लगता है introduction. क्या बात? They won't. I don't want this. That was the problem actually. They're rounded. We don't want that round because of that only we are facing challenges. See? Yes, back. So yes, dear. Now we will move on to the general relevance. General relevance means the supporting ideas to the main context. Whatever the main content was given by the author, the supporting ideas we have to go through in the general relevance. The Postmaster explores the universal themes of attachment and detachment, emotional distance. It reflects how relationships can be fleeting, short-lived, means not long lasting, and unequal, with one person deeply affected while the other remains distant. A reality is still relevant and today's emotional experiences. So this particular general verse, it is talking about that this whole context is giving that different persons, the people, how they attach, how they detach, and what kind of things or pains they carry when we are part with the people. So these are the example, or this is the main idea which carried by the poet. Next, move on to the conclusion. Conclusion part, the postmaster poignantly captures the fleeting and often unequal nature of a human relationship. It was talking about whole human relationship where emotional connections can be deeper for one person and shallow for another. Some might be very serious, or some may be we were not care about relationship and leading the heart attacks to the separation. So heartbreaking for another one. When the other one is not caring, for others it is a heartbreaking. So this is a whole concept of the the postmaster. Now we have covered with 2 long questions. The first question is, are you there? What's the first question we followed? First long question in the part B. Be done with the poem. Be done with the poem. Yes. Next. We'll see how many of you answered. Yes, dear. Very good. The Lotus you are following, dear. Very good. The next followed by prose part. The postmaster. Very good. So you have 30 marks in your pocket, dear, because we done with the 2 long questions. Then we will go with the Unit 3, Buried in a Freeland by Francis Harper. Yes. So we'll go with the questions. Discuss the influence of Francis Harper personal experience and activism on the themes. We have to go through the poem. Okay, go through the poem and you have to mention that what are the experiences she had explored and why she was mentioning these all. Okay, next. The second question is evaluate the effectiveness of Barimena Freeland. What kind of things will be there? Everyone talk about life and living. Why the poet was mentioning the Barimena Freeland? What kind of things she has come across? Let us see. Okay. Now move on to it's a poet introduction. Frances Ellen Watkins Harper. She was born in 1825 and last death in 1911 and was a significant African American poet. You might be confused. What is African American poet? African born and American settled. Those completely that African people though migrated to America. Those people are considered African American poet. And abolitionist means anti-socialist because there might be some sort of social things are there, no? So the person is anti for them. Okay, abolitionist and women's right advocate, the person who is very much conscious about the women's rights and her personal experience and activism deeply influenced the themes of imagery and her poem Barimena Freeland. Okay, so here whatever she was writing in the poem, it was her personal experience. It was her personal experience. What she has gone through that made her to write this poem. And it is completely self-explanatory poem. She was talking to the readers that she wants to be like this. She wants to the life like this. After my life, I want to be like this. There is no such characters. Only she is herself. She is talking to the readers. Like this kind of poems called as self-explanatory or else monologue. When one person is continuous speaking, that is considered monologue. Yes. So explanation, just as we done with the poet's introduction, move on to the explanation. Explanation means your the poet ideology, what they want to convey in the poem. It is deeply moving poem that reflects her personal experience, activism, and commitment to the abolition of slavery and social justice, social injustice actually. Okay, she was in abolishes for the social injustice. She wants to get for the social justice. Means women are men. They both are equal. They have the same equal rights. And slavery. Slavery means in American they used to use the black people for the slavery. So she is anti for the slavery and the social injustice. Born in a time when slavery was harsh in reality, and Harper witnessed suffering, enslaved, forced to work without any permission, without permission. As a slave, she has to work. Then freedom and fight for the freedom and equality. Her poem vividly portrays the horrors of slavery through powerful imagery and such as troubling slaves, families, torn and cruel clash of, and they might have into different kind of slavery things and personally and personally how they felt their life. If you know, as we are enjoying the freedom, but earlier days it was few scenarios they don't have a choice of living their life. They have given up their life to someone else, and they are leading their life. We know they don't have any choice. How the horrible situations for the humans. Okay, so she herself experienced the other things, and that's the reason she has written this poem. And freedom, fight for the freedom and equality. Her poem vividly portrays the a trembling slaves' families and of the whip. And these images are not just artistic expression, but reflections of her first-hand knowledge of injustice, making her poetry both personal and political. So it is personal experience and what she has come across in her environment or surroundings. She has seen the such kind of people around her. That's the reason he mentioned first hand, in the sense she herself experienced first hand. Now move on to this. As a prominent, it was talking about that why she was what she wants to convey. As a prominent abolitionist, a Harper used her poetry as a tool for advocacy. They, when poets, authors, whoever it is, what their idea is, they are going to represent through some books. As we know that writing, okay, writing, singing, these are artistic forms to express our views. Okay, now we are expressing through status or else Insta reels. That's it. But earlier it was not like that. They used to write. They used to speak on stages. That's the reason we have found great leaders and great speakers. Okay, now we don't have time here because we are in scrolling area, huh? Right. So freeland poetry as tool of advocacy, the raw emotion and moral urgency, Bariam of freeland effectively highlight the inhumanity of slavery and call for immediate action to end it. Slavery has to be ended because humans to be treated as humans, not as a slaves. Her point it is. And refuse to rest in a land where the slavery exists symbolizes. So she wants to bury, she wants to give her last rituals in a land there is no slavery. See how the painful situations are. What might the situations she might come across. She mentioned herself that she wants to bury her body in a there is no slavery land. Okay, there is no slaves at all. And rest in land where slavery exists symbolizes her deep belief freedom as fundamental human right. Freedom is a human right because every human born equally and they should have an equal right. There is no slavery for a human who cannot be a slave for another human. That's what her point is. Okay, by addressing the reader directly, painting the vivid scenes of pain and loss, and Harper forces the audience to confront this focus on more failure of society that allowed such cruelty. So it is not about one person; it is about the society which encouraged the slavery. This is not one person's job. This is not the abolition. Also, not one person. It has to be society. So society has to support the abolition of the slavery, and it was everyone's job to go with the equality. And more failure society that allowed such cruelty. This makes the poem powerful piece of political poetry. Why it is mentioned as she was mentioning the personal experience? Because the backdrop, whatever is happening in a country, whatever is happening in a place, who is the person who is going to this political things, right? The law or whatever it is. So she was mentioning the political capable of awakening empathy. Empathy means, as I mentioned, that understanding the other, keeping means others, respecting others' opinions also is comes under empathy here. Now, while the poem was written in the context of slavery in the 19th century, its themes of freedom and equality and justice continue to resonate. It was talking about her emotional pain. She was representing in a poem that what she has come across and what she wants to invoke. And operation and the echoes and both the imaginary injustice and the demand of dignity and remain relevant. And as societies around the globe grapple with issues like modern slavery, racism, everything, inhumanity, in inequality, everything is there. So Harper's poem reminds us that the fight for the freedom and equality ongoing challenges and readers, both past and present, reflect their role in creating just and a humankind Humanity is everyone's job, not is just one person job. So, enduring the relevance and emotional power, Barimena Freeland serves as a timeless call for the collective responsibility. As I mentioned, it is not one person job; it is a collective responsibility of the society. Means every individual is responsible for the equality, and it should be a part of a society. Human dignity and eradicate the oppression of the whatever the social injustice, social inequalities. Then we have to eradicate. We have to remove that. We have to overcome that. Then general relevance. As I mentioned, general relevance in the sense whatever the context we read, whatever the context was given by the poet or author, what are the things which is going to support the main idea is comes under relevance. Francis Harper's Bury Me in a Freeland remains relevant today. Still today, addressing the themes of freedom, equality, and justice, and connects deeply with the ongoing struggles of human rights. Rights are there on the books, but how many are really enjoying the human rights? Okay, and racial equality and the fight against oppression and unfair treatment, reminding us to continue working with towards a fair and free society. When we are free with these are the things only, then the society is fair for everyone, equal for everyone. This is the general. And conclusion part, once you check, Barimina Freeland strongly shows Frances Harper's dedication to freedom and fairness. What's her dedication for? Why she was asking for the freedom? Because she doesn't want to live a world or doesn't want to live a place where the person is in a slavery. And fairness inspired by her own life and work, because whatever she has written, she has experienced herself. That's the reason she was mentioning through a poem. The poem is a heartfelt appeal for equality. She was requesting everyone for the equality, and it highlights the struggles of her time and reminds us that the fight for fair and free society is still ongoing. So this, if you go through this poem, everywhere, in every place, in every century, some kind of inequality will be there. So we have to be there to eradicate it. We have to overcome the things. But everyone's participation, not one person, one political party, or one rule cannot ruin that. Everyone has to be take part in that. This is the idea was given by Francis Harper. Yes, dear. So with this, we have covered 3 long questions. Okay, the Lotus, the Postmaster, Barimina Freeland. First one is a poem, and the second one is prose, and the third one is poem. So with this, we covered 4 long questions. Each one carries 15 marks. You will be having option A and B. Out of these 2, you have to choose one. Yeah. Now move on to the critical reading part. The critical reading part, the question will be appearing in the fourth question in the part B, and here we are going to get the one particular critical reading, Anti-Women by Sojourner Truth. So what is this? It is also related to some sort of, I'll explain in brief that some sort of slavery, and it is inequality, like rights of women. They were not treated equally, and they have faced challenges in the society. So Sojourner Truth, she was born in 1797, last breath in 1883, was a prominent advocate of abolition of slavery, women's rights in 9th century America. Born into slavery, Isabella Bum. She herself born in a slave family, and she's a black woman, and later adopted the name Sojourner Truth, inspired by a divine calling of sheer truth justice. Read of famous and powerful speeches, she courageously shed the light of struggles faced by African Americans and women, becoming an enduring symbol of equality and resilience and strength. So she was fighting for the black people against the racism. This is about the author. Now move on to the explanation. So Sojourner Truth's speeches, Anti-Women addresses the noise created by the discussion about the rights, particularly those related to race and gender. Race means black people, weak people or else Indians, like that, race and gender. And in first line, the rocket refers to the women deserve equal rights. Okay, whether you are male or female, you should have equal rights. Truth is frustrated by the unnecessary chaos. Okay, when you speak the truth, no one will accept that. This is the truth actually. Confusion caused by the debates are because in her view, the answer is simple. Answer is simple. Women are just as capable and deserving the worthy as men. Yes, everyone is equal. Everyone deserves the best things in their life. And means the treatment should be same. Truth believes that white men will be in the fix and black people in the south, women in the north. Like they have a particular things, they will have a different perceptions about the black people or white people. They will belong to this, they will belong to like, they will behave like this. And it was the existing systems of power, controlled by the quality. Men in power will struggle to maintain their control and will have to face the reality of change. Everything will be changed and everything has to be accepted. People. To support the argument that black women deserve to be treated equally to the white women and that all women deserve the same respect as men, Truth presents three key reasons. First, she highlights physical strength and hard work. If you see, a woman also equal to the men because she also can work as hard as a man. That is first truth. And she was mentioning the second truth is that she shares how she plugged fields and yes. Fields, planted crops. She is also working in all the areas where the men are working. So she is all equal to pay. And believe it or not, still in corporate some places, women are not paid equal to men. This is the harsh reality actually. And planted crops and farm labor equal to men. Without receiving special treatment, this proves that women are strong and capable. The second truth is Truth emphasized her experiences as a mother. She was born, given birth to 13 children, and witnessed their suffering slavery. Yet society failed to acknowledge the sacrifice and provide her the respect she deserves. As a woman, she took birth and she gave birth to other people, and they also worked as like her. But the world doesn't recognize her hard work or doesn't recognize her things. Just it will put aside. And she was discussing the third thing. Truth uses religious reasoning. She reminds her audience that Christ came from a woman and that women played a crucial role in the creation. Creation. And if women could turn the world upside down, bring the change in the past, they are certainly capable of improving the society. So when women given a chance to do something, such particular things, women can do world upside down. This is her ideology. Though these arguments Truth dismantles the stereotypes. Stereotype is already settled mindsets. Okay, contradicts and weakness and challenging unfair treatment for women, for especially black women. Her speech powerfully calls for the equality, justice, and recognition for the value for women in the bring the society. Okay, so this is all about she wants to be treated as equal to as white women. This is her whole idea she wants to represent in this speech. She was giving a lecture. She was speaking about the women rights, especially equality and against the racism and the gender relevance. Sojourner Truth's speeches highlights the ongoing struggle for the gender and racial equality, and it reminds us that women, particularly black women, continue to face discrimination and they are not treated equally. Her message call for respect, equality, and recognition for the worth of all the people, especially women. She was calling for the equal respect for the women also. And the conclusion is Sojourner Truth's speech anti-women emphasize the strength and value for women. So this is the idea of the women also equal. Women has to be treated equal, and women has all the capabilities like men. So this is her ideology, especially black women, and challenges the inequalities of her time. Her powerful message reminds us to continue the fight for equality and respect the dignity and rights of all people, especially women. So whole women And you observe that this title is Aren't I a Women? Question. Aren't you women? Nina, women avadambalana? Just because of I'm a woman, I'm given treated like this. So this is a question. Whenever you start a speech, especially the great people, they start a speech with a question or else a statement. If you see, Martin Luther King's first speech is opened with "My dear brothers and sisters." That is a famous speech by Martin Luther, Junior Martin. Okay, so when a speech was opened with a such questions or such a opening statement will be more focused by the people. Yes. Yes, clear it is. Yes. Download CILM app and purchase, login, like, share our app, and stay tuned to SIA digital live classes. ग्रामर मैं ग्रामर अच्छी बोलती एक सेशन ग्रामर वाला लगाओ Let's continue. Yes, dear, I'm back. Hope you downloaded the app. That's the reason I took a break. Download, purchase, like, and share. CILMR app. Always for you. We are here to help you. Now move on to just now we're done with anti-women. This is a critical reading for you. Part B, fourth question. You will get two questions from critical reading. One of the question which was just now discussed. Now we move on to the next question. Next part of the things. The unit from unit 3, knowledge its own end. Anyway, you will get two questions in the fourth place. And fourth question, A or B. Out of two, you can choose any one. Obviously, we have done with two things now. You can choose any one. Clear? Now, knowledge its own end. It's a small extraction by John Henry Newman. What he was discussing about, knowledge is not about books. Knowledge is not about the things. Knowledge is, it has its own ideology. It was discussed. So this is a small like blog, like an article. Let's read go. Author's introduction. John Henry Newman, he was born in 1801, last birthday 1890, he was an Anglican priest. See once, priest. Anglican means there is a tribe called Anglo-Saxon. Those people are the Anglican priest, poet, theologian, and influencer scholar in the 19th century. Knowledge its own is an expert from the idea of a university, a classic text on university education, famous for defending that concept of liberal education. Education focuses on broad intellectual growth. Education is not meant for job security, another thing. It's an intellectual part of the things. Now, explanation part. So explanation, if we go, this is the idea of the person who is representing this thing. The expert of highlights the Newman's believes that knowledge holds intrinsic value and it is not for just a practical application. It emphasizes the significance of liberal education which shapes a person's character, intellectual abilities. Means education is not meant for the reading and writing things. It is have its own things, that is, a person will can build their character, intellectual abilities. And this kind of education goes beyond the job training. As I mentioned that education is not meant for a job. If you are done education, then it doesn't mean that you should get into the job. Okay, education it is not things. And focusing instead of creating thoughtful and well-rounded individuals. Okay, when you are educated, you come to know what is right for you, what is not, how to behave, what not to do. These all comes under intellectual properties. Okay, now Newman explained that liberal education fostered qualities like fairness and treating judge justifying others, also treating the properly, calmness and wisdom. This is very important. No one has wisdom these days because everyone has, they themselves feel like they know everything. Okay, that is just things. But wisdom is different from the knowledge, and it's beyond the things. And and balance avoiding extremes. Now, a key idea is that all branches of knowledge is interconnected. So if you have one set of knowledge, you are a commerce student or you are an engineering student. This is one stream you got, right? But whatever the knowledge you have, it has connected to all other knowledges. It is not one knowledge. This technical knowledge is knowledge. There are other, no. Every knowledge interconnected to one another thing. So that was he mentioned that. So how can we use that knowledge? Means when you come across any problem, when you come across any situation, then you use all the senses and you solve that problem. No, that is, education is not one sort of information. It is all interconnected with your abilities. For instance, studying history can improve how we understand present events, and learning science enhances logical reasoning. Newman argues that recognizing these connections enriches the mind, helps the people to grasp complexities. Our mind is the most impressive thing. We have to understand the things and we have to give the things. And the unity of knowledge is allows individuals to see bigger picture. If you understand the things, you can think and see the things beyond. That is comes under visionary. Okay, and bigger picture approach problems with a depth of clarity. When you understand the problem, when you see the big picture, obviously you can overcome the situation or you can take the decision plainly. These are the things you learn. These are comes under intellectual things. These are comes under wisdom. And universal just give the book knowledge. Literally, this is what everyone point of view. Universities or educations, whatever it comes, they will give you just knowledge. They will give you books. They will give you, but they didn't give you that how to think. They didn't give you what kind of sort of things you have to do, how to make your life like this. They won't. These are all your intellectual things. You have to grow with your life. And the universities, according to the Newman, play a crucial role in offering this type of education. Their purpose is not just to teach subjects, but to help the students to grow intellectually and morally by offering a broad range of disciplines. Here it is mentioning that it is not just dumping the knowledge. It is about to making the people intellectual. Also, university's job, it was mentioned. And university prepares students to face challenge and make meaningful. Now, contribution to society. This ties the Newman's point that education should develop a philosophical mindset, encouraging students to think deeply and reflect on the principles that guide to their action. Okay, this should have a set of values, ethics. These are all part of their learning. It was mentioned that through liberal education, students learn to complete, correct, and balance their thoughts, leading to a fuller understanding of the world. Newman so believes that education cultivates the freedom of fairness and judgment and calmness. So these are all the qualities should be inculcated by an individual when you have a good university education. Now move on to the general relevance. Newman's ideas about education stress the importance of interconnected knowledge and the role of university in creating thoughtful individuals. His vision for liberal education helps the students to develop intellectual abilities, moral characters, and which essential making meaningful contribution to the society. When a human being, when a person is intellectual, obviously the surroundings, the environment, the society will be more knowledgeable. Mostly the environment will be more effective. Come to conclusion. This is the idea you are driving from whole context. This is comes under conclusion. So Newman's perspective of education is timeless. It reminds us that the true purpose of learning is not just to create skilled professional, but also nurture responsible, wise, and thoughtful citizen. So it is not just about the giving the learning; it is making the people to be responsible, wise, thoughtful citizen. You must fulfill this responsibility by promoting qualities that go beyond the textbooks. Textbooks, we know, but beyond the textbooks, what is the life that has to be taught in the universities? Showing that knowledge is a lifelong source of growth and fulfillment. So here it is mentioning that knowledge is a lifelong learner we should be, and then only our growth will be there. So this is about the conclusion part of additional critical reading. So now let's move on to the part of as we come across, we done with the part B, 4 questions, 4 long questions with the 3 prose and poetry things completed, and 2 critical reading has completed. With this, you have covered all the, how many marks it is? 60 marks paper we have covered. So meanwhile, it is more focused part is part B, because you will get good weightage of marks in the part B. Just focus on write the summaries, and summaries should be written in 300 words. As the question it is asking you, the question itself it is mentioned in the top of that you have to answer the question in 300 words. Count your words. How to count your words? When you are writing a sentence in a line, you just check with your how many words you are putting in a one line. Then according to that how many lines you are writing, then you can count easily that how many words you are making for each page, so that you can count your how many number of sentences you are making. So it will be easy for you to go with how many sentences you are writing. That is easy to count the words. Clear? Yeah. Now it's time for writing skills. Now it's time for writing skills. Let us we have a glance on essay writing. So essay is a group of paragraphs. When you write a group of ideas together, then it comes a paragraph. Group of paragraphs becomes a essay. But essay, how to be organized? You have to give such kind of information in an essay. Essays are different kinds of essay, but informative. Essay is an informative things are called as essay. When you flow with the information, then it is comes under an essay. Here we have a topic called environmental pollution. Okay, so what are the reasons for the? You have to put it as an introduction part. So introduction in the sense you are giving the such idea that to the reader what are the reasons, what are the causes of pollution. Then followed by what are the different kinds of pollutions are there. Here it go with air pollution, water pollution, and soil pollution. And finally, you have to give a conclusion for the whole idea. This is comes under your essay writing. So we'll go with this is a very general common topic. Just I'll give you a small glance on it. Environmental pollution is one of the most pressing issues facing all over the universal problem it is. Okay, it refers to the contamination of it refers to the contamination of the natural environment by harmful substances leading to the adverse effects on the ecosystem, human health, and the planet as a whole. Pollution can take many forms, including air, water, soil, and noise pollution. As industrialization, we all know industrialization, urbanization have increased, so has the level of pollution making the global concern for the demands of immediate action to be taken. It's not only the one country problem; it is whole world problem. It is pollution because as we are globalized, we are making a lot of messy things for us. So let us we face the music in future. Already we are facing, so in future also we face. So air pollution, what are the different types of pollution it was discussed. Air pollution, obviously by smoke, by burning something, or else by polluting from factories, whatever the things are coming, vehicles, these all comes under air pollution. Water pollution, you all of know, we are just giving means making all the water unsafe. Okay, there is no special drinking water we have. Okay, everything is unsafe for us because we are spoiling all the rivers and lakes, and we are throwing all the junk in the water. So obviously the water pollution, and it is also harmful for us at the same time. For the aquatic animals also, it is a big challenge for them to survive. Soil pollution, we are using all the chemical things, and we are dumping all the nonsense nasty in the soil. Obviously will be getting the soil. And soil pollution not only have a problem with the things, but it has going to be affected on our health and water. Finally, whatever the crops we are giving, that is also false. And noise pollution, vehicles, factories, and everything. And followed by the conclusion. How to give the conclusion? See once. So environment pollution poses a significant threat to the health and well-being of all living organisms. So whatever the pollution, it is not only for us animals, aquatic, whatever the animal is in the earth, it is going to be affected. And it disturbs the ecosystems and contributes to climate change and endangers human health. And combat with the pollution, it is essential to adapt sustainable practices. As of now, we are okay, whatever, but what about the next generations? If we go the same way, in future, the future generations can't survive. As of now, our lifespan is reducing, and we are facing challenges with our health and all the things. And very, very engaged, we are getting cardiac, a lot of health issues we are facing, right? Yeah. And government, industries, individuals have to role to play in reducing the pollution. Every individual, not just government, every individual is a part of this things pollution. So everyone has to take part to overcome this challenge, eradicate this problem, to make this environment safe for everyone, especially safe for the future generation. Here we go with my favorite topic, resume writing.
क्रॉस हो गया अभी पहले ना पर हॉटस्पॉट बता रहा
Now let us get into the topic called CV writing and resume writing. CV stands for curriculum vitae. It should be pronounced as resume, not resume. Please make a note of this. This is resume, right? So CV and resume, it is a professional document which should be carried by a fresher or an individual who wants to get into a professional job, right? So let us we see each and every part of a written document should be followed a format. So in the same way, we have a curriculum vitae format also. First of all, we'll see, you will get a question of structure, write the structure of the CV. How to structureize the CV, what kind of things should be there in the CV. This is one of the question you may get in the exam. Please make a note of this. So structure of the CV includes the following sections. What are the sections will be there? First, on top, you have to mention your details. Means your name, your contact number, your mail ID. On top should be. And then the very next you have to follow with your educational qualification. Means your academic qualification. And here we go with the wrong that we will start with the 10th class. No, it's not like that. You have to start with the higher to lower. Means you are studying the degree or BTech, you start with higher and go with the 10 degree into 10. This is the order you have to follow. First, you have to go with your personal information on the top, then go with the education. If not, you're a professional, you have to go with the recent experience, because I'm working for a so and so place. This is my recent job, but I started a long back some another. You're not supposed to mention that's first. You have to mention the lawyer, but first you have to mention the recent job we are doing. Okay, the present job or recent job. Okay, for the professionals, here it is. Once I mentioned that education on top, you have to write the recent education, and experience also you have to add the recent education on the top. Then move on to how many years of experience you have, from which year to which year you have worked over there. According to that, you have to use. Whenever you are writing the resume or the curriculum vitae, you will be given a model of question. So and so accountant job you are applying. So for that position, you have to prepare a resume. Then what you have to do, you have to mention the details. According to the job, you have to mention all the things, segregate the things. Okay, so and so here I have done this course. So I have so likewise you have to manage your things. Okay, it is not for exam. It's for exam. Okay, don't do it in real time, please. I'll be caught. Huh. People ask me, you are the person you made them to write like this. Then move on to skills. Skill and knowledge. Knowledge is means you have a certification. That is your certification. Skills means the things you can do with a free flow. Those comes under your skills, because you can write a program, a C program you can write. That is your skill. You can troubleshoot. That is a skill. You can cook. That is a skill. So skills means a lot of people they ask me what should be right and what should be. You have done something which is only on certificate, that is knowledge certification. But you can do it properly without any hesitation. That is a skill. Okay. And interest and achievements, here you can write what kind of freedom. Don't write this one. But watching TV, playing cricket. This is one. Okay. And references. Most of the professional jobs, they will ask for a reference. If you have any reference, then mention, otherwise leave it. So this is the first hand structure of the CV, and this question you will get for 4 marks. How many steps were there once you check? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only 6 sentences, 6 steps you have written. You will get 4 marks for this. So such an easy question, right? Yes. And here we go with one of the example. See the question. As I mentioned that, respond to the following advertisement. Wanted a language trainer for a reputed consultancy, preferably an MA in English with a minimum 2 years of experience. Send your details to CV, Nexa Overseas Consultancy, Hyderabad. So this is the question you have given. So according to that, you have to create one profile for this job. So first what you have to do, actually, minimum 2 years of experience. It is 2025. So when you have completed your degree, MA English previously, and when you have to join the job, these are all the things, the dates you have to make a note of. Then you have to start writing. Okay. So first on top, I mentioned that you have to write your personal details, your name, your address, or else your mobile number and mail ID. Then followed by your education. You have to write the recent education, highest education or recent education, and followed by the employment. As they were asking for the 2 years experience, right? Here you mentioned 2 years of experience for so and so ABC training solution from 2008 to present. Means it has done with more than 2 years, right? Then followed by the achievements, certifications, and any other kind of skills you have to put it here all. This is overall your CV. And language skills, interests, trainings, workshops. There is no watching TV once you check it. Don't write watching TV, playing cricket, listening to music. Please get rid of that. You come out of that shell. So this is the overall CV. This is all your information here. You're not supposed to write any fraud or fake information while you're writing your real-time CV. This is for exam point of view I'm telling you, but whenever you're writing a real-time CV, just be fair with your CV because you're going to quote. Yes. Any doubts regarding the resume? Did you find any queries? Till now. Oh, what happened? I'll check it once.
Difference between resume and CV.
Okay, thank you. Good. Dear, here you will get only CV, curriculum vitae. In resume, you will be having a career objective topic. I'll explain in short what is a career objective, but it is not needed for, but I will explain. Career objective is something that you are presenting yourself in the future. What is your life's outcome? That is your career objective. Okay? But in resume, it will be there. In the CV, there is no career objective. Right? This hopes clear. I'll explain in short what is a career objective, but it is not needed for. Any other questions? So clear, dear? The resume and CV both are professional documents which can be carried by an individual. And one more doubt is if you are writing a resume, the resume should not exceed more than 2 pages. But CV you can write any number of pages. That is the difference you can observe. N number of pages you can write CV, but resume should be consist of only 2 pages, not more than 2 pages also. Of course, 1 page is also okay, but don't exceed 2 pages. If you are writing a resume, the resume should not exceed more than 2 pages. A CV you can write. Just following the questions. Yes, download CILMRA. We are there to help you for your academic things, and check with CR Digital YouTube Live. So let us move on to the next part of the grammar. This is about the project. It's not project actually. This is about the report writing. In initial your schooling days, you might have come across news report. The news report, your academic report, these are comes under report writing. So you are having a report writing topic. Let us see what kind of things will be added in the report writing. So first of all, whenever you are given a topic, something, you have to introduce the topic. On top, you have to write the topic. What is the topic? Here we have a topic called role of the internet in our lives. So the things we are using in a day-to-day life, what kind of such things we are experiencing with the internet. This is the introduction. If you see, the internet has become an essential part of our daily lives, influencing how we communicate, learn, work, entertain ourselves. It has revolutionized the way we access the information. Earlier, without internet, there is no proper communication within us. But now, everything, everywhere, wherever you are, you can communicate with the people. Okay, lakhs of people as we are communicating like this. Okay, and access information, connect with others, and conduct business. This project explores the significant role of internet plays on various aspects of our lives, highlighting its impacts on education, communication, entertainment, and more. So there's a lot of changes has come after the pandemic. If you see, earlier there is no online classes, but now everything is online. And communication, we can connect with anyone for universally worldwide. We can connect with websites and all. And entertainment, we can book a cab, we can book a theater things, whatever it is, entertainment, right? We can have a pleasant things in our mobile with the entertainment part, and more, many more things are there. Now here, sections you have to write. Whatever the information you have added over there, you have to give in detail explanation of. As we mentioned, e-learning. Earlier, there is no online classes. Now we are completely regular to the online classes. This whole context is talking about e-learning. E-learning platforms are there. E-learning PDFs, everything is available. You can have n number of learning apps available. These are comes under, and certifications are there. Lot of apps are providing the courses in online. So e-learning is happening just because of the internet. Now move on. Communication and social connections. Global connectivity. Wherever, whatever you do, you can post it, right? You can. And this is not just for entertainment. It is a lot of people, they're living, their livelihood is depending on the online. Like some business people, they are posting their products and everything, and they are making money. So entertainment, and so communication, social connections, you can connect with anyone from anywhere. And social networking, as we got connected, we don't know each other, but we got connected. Social networking, right? I got my students, you got your faculty here. And streaming services, transform, we consume media with the streaming service providing the access to movies, music, everything. You know very well, these are the things are your is up to date thing for you. Entertainment is first hand, right, girls? And content creation. If you see, we have YouTube. How many of you YouTubers are earning good amount, and they're presenting their skills on the YouTube? So it's a content creation, whatever they're presenting their skills and everything, and they're getting their leads or whatever it is from worldwide, not just one. If we don't have internet, we'll be limited to our colony or our place. But if you are in the YouTube, or if you are in the global place, you will get opportunities like anything. And work and business, as I mentioned, everyone is working remotely now. Now, most of the corporates, they are not going to office. We all know that. It's work from home. Okay, most of the people, they are working. And they are working in for UK, US also. So, remote working is increased after the pandemic. We all know that. A lot of people, they are working for other countries from here. This is an advanced thing for Indians. And business, e-commerce, you know this e-commerce and all those things. I need not to explain this. Okay. Privacy and security, and these are the, here we go with some sort of problems also. So challenges, we don't have much privacy in our life because we post our information wherever, our names, our Google dot ideas, whatever it is. So it is a problem for us. There is no safety, there is no privacy, and digital divide. So if you see, not everyone can access. If it good, internet is good, but from rural areas, if now I'm not getting sometimes I will disconnect from the internet. Some areas I don't know, there may be jam or something like that. And this is, with this we conclude the challenges. Now move on to guidelines. What is this idea representing? Originality, clarity, insight, length. This is the whole document what you're representing. This is a report, right? You have to write this. The document, whatever it is you are writing, you have to clarify the information. See, all submissions should be original, reflect personal insights and experience. Whatever you have written, it is your personal experiences. The project should be clearly written, easy, understand, avoiding the technical jargons. I mean, that should be simple language, people language, so that everyone can understand the report. And insight, provide thoughtful analysis, how the internet impacts. So when you are giving that, you mention on the top the good things, and the next one, the challenging. It was mentioned inside. Length. And it should be very simple, and it shouldn't be exceeded. Not a lengthy process. It should be very concise one, so that it will be understood by everyone. And down you have to mention the editorial thing. You have mentioned that who is the editor, who is the like each and every product, they have people like In paper also, in media also, we have people like, right? So editor, managing editor, you have to mention some names, blank names. You have to mention some names, whatever it is. And conclusion of that overall the topic. What is the conclusion you want to drive for this topic? The internet is a powerful tool that has transformed every aspect of our lives, from education to entertainment, communication to commerce. Its impacts far reaching to and profound. Understanding the role of the internet helps us navigate its benefits and challenges, enabling us to use it effectively, enhance our personal and professional lives. This project encourages students to reflect how the internet shapes their world and to make informed decisions about their online activities. So this is the conclusion you're going to write. By using the internet, we can have a lot of benefits. But though we have some challenges also, we have to overcome the challenge and we have to make use of it in a fruitful way. This is the conclusion you have to write. Clear everyone? So this is one topic we got it. It is a model of report writing. Any questions, Ria? Let's check with the comments. Across one word substitutes. And this is not a new topic for you, it is already there in your inter second year. Okay, there are 60 plus of one word substitute you have come across. Let's one word substitute is such kind of phrase which gives an idea of one particular thing. So see, one word substitutes is the use of single word to replace a group of words, complete sentence. Okay, if you see um, what we call ambidextrous. There's a word called ambidextrous. Ambidextrous stands for a person who can use hands. Like he can write from the left hand, he can write from the right hand. Those person called as ambidextrous. Instead of mentioning that he can use his left hand batsman and right hand batsman, he is an ambidextrous player. I replace the whole sentence with one word. Those kind of words called as one word substitutes. Clear? He's a bibliophile, something I'll say. The person is more conscious, more regular with the books. Hope it's understandable. There are 20 things are there, 20 one word substitutes are there. You have 10 number of that. This is a simple answers you can find. So in the same word as you were used originally. Okay, someone who loves to collecting books. Next idea, we have a topic called words often confused. This is simple and very easy way of, though this word LED and here it is LEAD. These two things are pronounced in the same way. This is let, right? We'll pronounce it accept, accept. Accept means you're agreeing with it. Accept means excluding that part. What is that is accept. Accept you can accept this girl. You can go means not the person but you can live. So accept and accept. So these are the words we can obviously will get confused when you use it. So commonly words often confused. The pronunciation may differ. Now we have a topic called Formal and informal vocabulary. Formal vocabulary means which can be used in the professional communication like mails, letters, notices, and everything. Informal vocabulary in the sense our day-to-day life, we use the word with a friendly manner in a close circle. Those comes under informal vocabulary. If you see, just now I checked mobile. This is informal. If I want to say any kind of professional, I have verified with my password. Verified my password, verified with my link, whatever it is, a professional user. Using mobile is it's a very common thing. So I didn't say it should be a verified. I verified my mobile. I checked my mails. I checked my mobile. This is a very day-to-day job. But if you are going with my PIN or some other things, then you have to say I verified with the things whatever happened. I verified with the document whatever it is. This is a small example for the formal and informal vocabulary. Yes, dear. So we have a small glance on the paper. We'll have part A with the 6 questions. Each question on the top, you see, first one question followed with a group of 5 mini questions, which carries each one mark. So whenever you are answering one question, okay, you have to answer all the 5. Then only you will get the answers. Okay. So like that, this is one question. If you have, and don't answer like this one question, this one, it is not valid here. When you are answering, just answer this all the 5, then it is considered one section. Okay, dear. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Here it is. Write an essay. Just now we discussed about the essay writing, right? Write an essay on child labor in India. This is a topic. You have to do an introduction and segregate the points in there, and you have to write the conclusion also when you are writing an essay. This is an informative essay. Like it's about the labor in India, right? It is an informative essay. Here we go with this example that one of the consultancy is looking for a trainer who is having 2 years of experience in trainings and all. The resume we follow. This is also for 4 marks. Just now we come across this. And structure of the project report. Structure of the project means you have to write the format. On top, what you have to write, you have to introduction, you have to write the details, then you have to follow the editorial team, then you have to write the conclusion. This is the structure. For just writing the headings only, you will get the 4 marks here. There is no real-time project. Just check it once. Write the structure of a project report. What should be involved in that? What kind of the side headings you have to write? Then you will get the 4 marks over here. Clear? So I have covered project report and I have covered this one, 3 and essay writing. So for 3 questions, how many marks it is? 12 marks. As I give a word for that. So 12 marks. How many marks it is the part A? It's overall 20 marks. And we covered 12 marks. And we also given glance on the things. Now move on to the part B. We'll be having, as I told you that, we'll go with one question with the optional choice, A and B. In this, we have covered the Lotus from Unit 1, and there is one more question, some solitude, which we didn't cover, because out of 2, you can get one question, easily you can write the answer. And 8th question, it follows with the chimney sweeper, and the next one is the postmaster. We didn't cover the chimney sweeper, we followed with the postmaster. So out of 2, you got with one option, we done with that, then obviously you can write the exam well. The 9th question, we followed with from the central harper, bury him in a free land, we covered, right? So atomic habits, we didn't do that. So that is one question. Now move on to the additional critical reading. We followed these 2 things. So out of this, INT women or else liberal education, like of studies, you can choose one of them. Then obviously we're done with the 60 marks paper over here. So we have covered all the part B with the 60 marks, the major part of the exam. And the next one we followed in part A with the 12 marks of paper. Essay writing, resume writing, report writing, followed by the commonly confused words as I give a word in the beginning. This is all about the today's lecture. Now you can post any questions or any kind of things you would like to know. Post it in the chat box, your queries, we'll ready to answer. And meanwhile, you just download the SIA LMR app. So get connected with all the resources. And you can find the SIA books in online also. You can purchase from SIA app, SIA LMR app. Questions. I'm not getting the question. What is the small grammar? Grammar we have covered here. Grammar is not always. Actually, you don't have such grammar here. This is what the reality. You don't have such grammar. Grammar in the sense it is something. You have just commonly vocabulary part is there. Commonly confused words. Okay, checked, verified. These are the things you have. And the major part we covered here, essay writing we covered, resume writing we covered, report writing we covered. This is also part of the grammar. What is the question in that? What is the 10th question? Yes, this is from critical reading, dear. According to Newman, liberal education. Just now we followed in our last lesson, right? 10th question is about the education. And the next question is the speech of anti-women. This is from critical reading, dear. Yes, dear, I have done this anti-women I have explained. You can follow in the live. It was there. Dear, on the top it was mentioned you have to answer the question in the 300 words, right? So go with the things. 300 words you have to write. Yes, dear, you have to prepare these questions only. You will rock the show. Seriously. Because we have consulted with a team of people, our resource people. They have clearly mentioned that these are the things you can. And we cover all the highest marks, part B and part A we cover. Dear, you can download the SIA LMR app, and you can download the app and you can find all the resources like one word substitute, whatever you want, everything is there. You can find it in that. Okay? Good. One word substitutes are there. Everything, whatever the things you want, commonly confused words, everything was clearly mentioned over there. To get the O grade, you have to present the paper in a well manner with a good handwriting, with a legible handwriting, in a proper structure, with whatever summary you are writing, you have to segregate into about the poet or author and explanation and relevance and the conclusion. If you segregate a summary in a 4 ways with a appropriate syntax in the grammar particulars, then you will get good marks. Dear, whatever I have explained, it's already there in our life. You can go and check. Dear, you will get one word substitutes, either one or two, not all the one word. We have 20 one word substitutes are there. Out of them, you will get hardly two, dear. Don't be more conscious about that. No, you need not to write the question. You can write directly, mention the question number and which question you have chosen. Write, mention that number and write the answer. No issues. As I mentioned, your handwriting should be legible and you should present the paper in a right manner and don't leave the pages in the middle. Directly answer. If you know very well the part A, start with part A. If not, go with the part B with the right answers in order. Okay, just continue with the part B, then move to the part A. But don't mess up with the things part A once, part B once. It's not like that. Don't leave the page. And whenever you are having some problem with the things, just compose. Don't cut it. Okay, don't overwrite on that. Yes, you'll have regular live classes, right? You'll have regular live classes with all the subjects. You can stay tuned to SIA LMR.
Channel.
Okay, download
Channel.
channel. Okay, for the digital live classes, you can purchase the app also. You can download the app. Sorry, you can download and purchase your resources from there. You will get all the things from the app. You have to answer any four from. You will be given 8 questions, dear. Actually, from 8 you have to answer 4. But it's not an open choice; it's an optional choice. But from A and B, you have to choose one answer from one question from. That is the problem. But in part A, you have open choice. You can choose any 5. That's it. Summary pattern will be there about the author, explanation, and general events and conclusion. These 4 parts you have to segregate. Dear, it is available in the live, dear. You can go and check. If not, download the app, SIA LMR app. Then you will find everything over there. On top of the question, it was mentioned 300 words. You have to answer in 300 words, dear. Yes, dear. Thank you very much. Yes, dear. All the best for your tomorrow's exam. Seriously, once or twice go through this. You will get all the points because we covered every point. That's it, and we finalized all the things. Whatever we are covering, the majority of marks we are covering. So, you have to be panic. You will get seriously. You will get O if you are writing good way. Any new questions apart from the grammar? Dear, you will find the grammar things in a SIA books. Just download the SIA LMR app. You will find all the things in the SIA books.
Welcome.
Yes, 300 means count the words first. Dear, I have explained the report writing in short, dear. Once you back to this video and you will get the idea. I mentioned everything. I have explained one example. Along with that, I have also explained the things what you have to do. Use the blue pen, dear. Why are you asking? It's a regular thing. You have to use the blue pen. Welcome, dear. Thank you. And all the best for your tomorrow's exam, dear. Keep rock the show.